I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. The gameplay, the story, the characters, the cheesy stuff. This is what I always look forward to whenever I start a game. However, when it comes to live action, Resident Evil tends to stumble. The Paul W.S. Anderson films started okay, but then completely lost it. And the latest one tried to stuff 2 games into one movie, which turned out as well as you thought. However, in 2019, Netflix got their hands on the license and made a short animated series, which sucked, and somehow got permission to make a live action show. Why does this keep happening? So of course I was worried about this show. However, video game shows work better than movies, and I always thought that one movie can't tell an entire game's plot. And look at this poster! That's straight out of the game, and early critics actually praised it. So maybe this won't be bad.
We're voted best place to live in the world.
By who? Lululemon, guys that off to CrossFit, Elon Musk.
Why am I not surprised? Instead of sticking to the source material, they chose to tell an original story with new characters. That's canon to the video game series, which doesn't make sense. Of course, you may argue that not sticking to the source material isn't a valid reason to hate an entire show, which would be a fair point if this was a good show to begin with. This show was so bad that the Spear Hunter doesn't even want to talk about it. You obviously know by now the poor reception this show has gotten, yet you're either curious on what I think about it, or you really don't want to watch it. So, sit back and let me tell you why Resident Evil Netflix isn't just bad, but a horrible show. We start off in the apocalypse and you already messed up. I don't think I should have to point this out, but Resident Evil is not a post-apocalypse story. I mean, sure, a city or 2 gets destroyed, but it's how you survive the situation that makes each game exciting. Putting this show in the apocalypse makes this look like every other zombie show, which Netflix has a lot of. We're introduced to Jade Wesker, our main protagonist, researching the Zeros, which are the zombies of this show. Alright, another problem. Resident Evil uses the word zombies. It's not like every other show where they're called something dumb. It's just zombies. Sometimes it's different, but only when it's actually different. Here, these look like the average zombies you've already seen. I bet you can take a picture of this frame and show it to somebody else, and they won't be able to tell you what the name of the show is. Another problem is the lazy directing. Look at this scene. There's a huge horde of zombies right behind her. One of them somehow teleports to her and they tussle for a while. The other zombies are just standing around in the background and don't do anything. Now, I should point out that they established that these guys can't see or hear, but they have a great sense of smell. However, that logic is going to be tested constantly throughout the season, so I'm still calling bullshit on this. When you're making a zombie show, the first thing you want to make sure is right is the action. Shows like All of Us Are Dead do a fantastic job on that. This show will literally have hordes of zombies show up and either disappear out of nowhere or just look stupid. Another thing that's stupid is the plot armor Jade has. A giant worm monster appears, which I'm assuming it's a reference to RE3 original, grabs her and slams her to a car, instantly knocking her out. But somehow, no back problems at all.
Looks like internal bleeding, probably.
Oh, never mind. Internal bleeding. Yeah, she'll be fine. We then cut back to the past, or present, of New Raccoon City? Oh god, it's gonna be one of those stories, isn't it? So get used to jumping back and forward through time, because that's how this series plays out. This is a risky way to tell your story, because you could spoil moments and annoy the audience. Now this has been done before in RE Revelations 2, so it could work. But it doesn't. Even the subtitles spoil the story. Oh, and what's the past story arc like?
I mostly just read Zootopia, so.
Yup, this is definitely Resident Evil. Most of the story is told in the past arc, while the action is in the apocalypse arc. These two tones don't match and it just feels messy and disjointed, just like the writing. Okay, I'm not gonna say Resident Evil's writing is perfect.
No thanks, bro.
At best, it's cheesy and not the main focus. However, in a TV show, writing is important, and this writing belongs in a CW show. And before you say it's a teen drama, first off, Resident Evil is not supposed to be a teen drama. And second, I do like teen drama, so you can't say I'm a hater, only for bad writing, and bad characters too. Jade and Billy are the most angsty teenage girls you can imagine. It's not the first time the series has done this, and they're definitely not the worst. But 8 hours of this gets annoying very quickly. I mean, seriously, it hasn't been that long since I was in high school. I know how teenagers talk. These actors aren't bad, but they don't make the script better. The one saving grace of the show is Lance Reddick, who plays Albert Wesker, which I 100% don't mind at all. I feel like the showrunners knew he was going to get people interested, and rather than making a new character to be killed off, they gave him the most important role. Okay, here's another weird scene. Billy is sitting alone in the cafeteria and this random girl walks up, who just got bullied herself a minute ago. She says hi and asks who she is. Billy answers honestly and she says this.
So, you're like a freak.
And then when she finds out she's a vegan, she says stuff like this.
That's stupid. I just don't eat animals. My dad took me hunting last fall. It was awesome. Shot Bambi in the brain.
Who talks like this? It should also be brought up that Umbrella is back in business, which should be impossible. The company was dissolved in RE4 and a bunch of other companies took over. There is no way Umbrella is back and able to publicly market products to consumers. These guys wouldn't allow that to happen. Anyways, Jade fights the bully and immediately gets Billy blamed. Wesker saves her and treats her to lunch. This is where Billy sees the inside of Umbrella Labs and sees all the cute animals in cages. So of course she has to break in and save the animals, because that's what woke teenagers do.
Okay, Sensei, remember what Moon told you? Yes, I will be awake. Yeah, no, be woke.
So somehow, 2 teenagers are able to sneak into an Umbrella base and there are no guards whatsoever. You'd think they would have learned the last few times. Billy of course does something dumb and opens the clearly scary looking cage to get bitten by an infected dog. Also love how there is no horror in the show based on a franchise that's credited to bringing horror to video games. Future Jade is now being chased by Umbrella, which leads her to jumping off a cliff that's definitely too high to survive. Yet she lands feet first onto a van and is completely fine. In the past, Wesker realizes what happened and covers everything up, which leads us to our main villain, Evelyn. Yeah, she's the worst. I mean, we had bad RE villains before, but this one just takes the cake as the most annoying and boring villain ever. I mean, at least the others transform into a giant monster to shoot. Here, that'll take up most of the budget, so here she is, just talking.
Joy? We'll make Umbrella the biggest company in the world. Fuck Google, Zuckerberg. They deliver eyeballs.
Past Jade tries to find more info about Umbrella by Googling it. And of course, it's blocked. You idiot. That's as good as using the school library for YouTube. Luckily, she meets a cute hacker named Simon, and Billy is jealous. Ooh.
Oh God, kill me now.
This leads to contact with an ex-reporter who wants to take Umbrella down, which also makes Jade want to find out more, and Billy starts to lose it. It's bad enough the show is trying to make us care about Jade and Billy, yet most of the screen time is actually towards Jade, especially in the future arc. We barely see future Billy and mostly see Jade running around aimlessly until something interesting happens. If the show wanted us to care about the sisters, then they should have done it like Arcane, where the screen time is split equally. So past Evelyn's big goal is to pump out a new drug called Joy that's supposed to make people happy, while the side effect may be turning into zombies. You know, that thing a company is famous for doing? Billy is somehow allowed to go to school, even though Wesker knows that the time is ticking for her and she may turn. Why is everyone in the show stupid? Alright, is anything interesting happening in the future? Yes! Lickers! Finally! Man, they look great. I can't wait to see... That's it? Really? The one creature you advertise the most, and it's only for 2 minutes? Also, how come everyone dies around Jade, yet she makes it without a scratch? Oh look, a giant spider, a classic of RE. Surely we'll get an awesome action scene that'll... Okay, so we're just handicapping these guys now. Jade and this umbrella guy gets captured by this cult. They could have easily made it like Las Plagas here, but that would have meant that someone actually played the game. Now this guy has been chasing Jade, and while he's been annoying, this is a good chance for us to learn about him. So,
SpongeBob. I freaking love SpongeBob. I mean, his best friend's a starfish.
Are you f***ing serious?
never mind. Oh, and during this, past Billy decides to go to a party to live life before she turns. Do these girls not care about everyone else? The cult has a zombie that screams yet somehow controls the other zombies through scent. So why are they showing her screaming? And of course, the Chainsaw Man. Alright, that's cool. Nothing can ruin this moment.
Just call me the master of unlocking.
Why do I even bother? Here we are, finally getting some guns. This series has been lacking in firearms. You know, something Ari is famous for, and Jade can finally...
I need a weapon.
So get one.
Okay, fine. Well, at least Jade does something cool. Well, does anything happen? They gave this action scene to that guy? Really? Well, does he... Okay, I'm gonna stop asking questions now. So, future Jade gets captured, again, and we spend the next episode in the past. Oh great, more teen drama. The ex-reporter comes to warn Billy and Jade, but Umbrella captures him and Wesker deals with him. So, that's the end of that character arc that went absolutely nowhere. Billy is seemingly okay, but they find out that their dad is more than he seems. Okay, so finally, after 5 episodes, we get some puzzles in an RE show. You know, the franchise famous for puzzle sequences. Yet, it's only clues that anyone could have figured out, but that's not the dumb part. No, the dumb part is that they have Simon hack their house's security system, but some of the appliances have cameras that they have to avoid. So they actually sneak around like 4-year-olds would. And to top it off, the answer was right under the piano the whole time. So they didn't have to do any of that. And why did they bother with this whole secret message if it was meant for them anyways? I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but Fuller House did better than this. So they find Wesker's basement and find his dark past and oh wow, that's Lisa. And she actually looks scary. That's so... oh, wait, that's it. God, it feels like this show has to remind you it's Resident Evil by constantly throwing in references, only to just completely ignore them afterwards. Jade idiotically sets off a trap to burn the evidence, which Umbrella really likes to do. So we cut back to the future and we see that future Billy is evil and somehow not only works for Umbrella, but she pleads that she's on Jade's side and gets her out. So only after 6 episodes, we finally see some character development for future Jade. She has a daughter that is apparently too smart for her age and a guy we've never met. Well, that's not good for Simon. Oh, and apparently Jade is now a scientist that knows how enzymes work, and she finds a way to mask herself from zombies. How did this happen? Okay, so watch this. Jade sneaks a zombie on board without telling anyone, and her daughter sees that she's testing out a pheromone. She says,
"You stay right there, by the door."
and what does this smart child do?
It worked.
Yup, it breaks out and runs after her. Remember when Jay said it goes after smell and only attacks when blood is exposed? Yet it chases her and eats the other scientist lady, which this episode establishes only to kill her off. Good job, Jade. So Wesker is captured and it's revealed that he is a part of a group of clones that the real Wesker made. Okay, so apparently the show writers thought we needed more Lance Reddick because he really is the only thing carrying the show. Still doesn't explain why Wesker looks different from the games. So how is this canon? But we finally get to see the real Wesker and... Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were watching Blade. Seriously, what were they thinking with that hair? The hair just ruins the whole outfit. Wait a minute, are we not gonna bring up Jake Mueller, Wesker's actual son? Are we just gonna forget that? Bert is the last of the clones and tries to help Billy and Jade, while in the future, Umbrella found future Jade, and of course, Evelyn is alive. Because she's such a great character, future Jade warns her daughter that this situation will get worse and that she needs to leave no matter what. Remember this. Alright, here's a chance to finally catch up the girls on the lore of Resident Evil. And what do? We mentioned OG Wesker died in a volcano, and that's it. Oh, and we're in an Olive Garden of all places. I feel like this is me trying to explain to my friends what Resident Evil is. So the girls get captured and find out Wesker needs their blood, and of course this upsets them, because teen drama. Okay, here's an important scene coming up. Future Jade is about to see Evelyn, who has been the mastermind of all this, and pretty much the reason why the world has ended. So let's see how this plays out.
Evelyn?
Beautiful 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was.
What the fuck? I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but can I play Resident Evil 6 instead? It turns out future Billy controls Evelyn now, which is never explained how she did this. And now she apparently needs Jade's blood to survive. How? I don't know. None of this makes sense. And that's saying a lot for a franchise that plays loose with science to begin with. Past Billy gets captured. Seriously, how many times are these girls going to get captured in this series? You're giving Ashley a run for her money. Future Jade brings a horde in and successfully escapes, only for her daughter to leave the boat. You idiot! I can't even blame the daughter on this one. She did exactly as her mom told her. Jade should have said, wait for me a certain amount of time or something instead of leave now. I mean, why did she try so hard to get back to the boat if she knew she told her daughter earlier to do this? Especially if they're going to release a giant alligator on Umbrella. So past Jade, with the help of Simon, gets everyone out, but Billy freaks out and bites him. Wesker offers to help him, but Evelyn straight up shoots him. It's established that Evelyn cares about her family and is willing to do messed up things to protect them, but this is straight out of left field. Oh, and Wesker stays behind and dies to hold off Umbrella. But don't worry, we still have Bert. You see, the show knew no one would stay if Lance was killed off, so that's why they did the clone thing. Although, that doesn't make sense because they said he died in the future. We cut back to the future to see Jade's daughter immediately in danger. Wow, great plan, Jade. You really thought this one through. Only for the alligator to stop, and we have a sweet moment with it? What? Is it because she sprayed the pheromone on her, or is it her blood? I don't know, because it's blown up. Another waste of an RE monster. Future Billy finally points out all the stuff I've been saying about Jade, but once again, we don't know why or how she's evil now, but whatever, she shoots Jade. And we cut back one final time to past Billy and Jade where they escape New Raccoon City to find Ada Wong. So we end on a big cliffhanger with questions. Will future Jade survive this? Did Evelyn die? I don't care about any of this because f*** this show. It's not surprising that the show got cancelled after 1 month. I mean, what did these guys expect to happen? The music was awful, the writing was horrendous, and everything about this show isn't Resident Evil. It feels like it was going to be a show of its own, but they knew it wasn't going to stand out. So once they got the brand, they just slapped it on there and hoped for the best. I at least have to give credit to the films for trying to somewhat stick to the source material, or at least look like it. I really wish RE got a good show. I don't think Resident Evil could work as a film, but I really think RE2 and 3 would have been the perfect show to do. That could have worked, yet Netflix decided to do this. Hopefully one day Resident Evil will finally get the justice it deserves for live action. But until then...
Chew on that, you overgrown son of a